our floor plans and see past projects today at unshakablebuilders.com. Have questions? Use live chat, fill out the contact form, or call the office at 814-9105. Unshakable Builders, build on a solid foundation.
CopyPro, the professional office systems people, have been serving Eastern North Carolina since 1971. From Greenville to Wilmington, businesses trust CopyPro for reliable technology, award-winning service, and top brands like Konica Minolta and Ricoh. Need multi-function printers, document management, or network solutions? CopyPro delivers powerful tools backed by certified technicians and a team dedicated to your success. CopyPro, professional people, professional systems, powerful results. Visit copypro.net or call 756-3175 today.
Hey O's fans, Star Wars Weekend lands at Camden Yards from Friday, May 29th through Sunday, May 31st as the O's take on the Toronto Blue Jays. Friday night, stick around post-game for a Star Wars-themed fireworks show presented by SeatGeek. Saturday, be one of 15,000 fans to score a Jordan Westberg Star Wars bobblehead presented by PNC. And Sunday, 10,000 fans, 12 and under will receive a Star Wars poster. Don't miss it. Get tickets at Orioles.com/tickets.
This July 4th, celebrate America's 250th in the original Washington, where history comes to life. Festivities begin Friday, July 3rd at 4:30 p.m. with the grand opening of the city's brand new History Museum. On Saturday, kick off the day with the Founding Fathers 5K at 8 a.m., explore history exhibits, and enjoy free trolley rides from 10 to 2, and live music from 7 to 9 p.m. Then look to the skies for a spectacular fireworks show at 9:15 p.m. Come walk through 250 years of history, celebration, and community. Right here in the original Washington. Learn more at visitwashingtonnc.com.
Looking for Washington's favorite place to eat? The spot locals keep coming back to. Head to Down on Main Street in historic downtown Washington. Now open 7 days a week, Down on Main is serving up all your favorites. From the house salad with grilled chicken, to the half club and chips, to the crowd-pleasing fried shrimp plate. After a long day, unwind with dinner and drinks on the patio. It's the perfect place to relax and catch up with friends. And don't miss Wednesdays, half-price wings from 4 till close. Down on Main Street, right on Main Street in historic downtown Washington.
If you missed Pirate Radio Live, you missed.
I have something to add. On the Buccaneer Music Hall scoreboard, we have a final score of the Cleveland Guardians 4 and the Angels 2.
MVP, MVC, Carter.
He's being very productive today.
He's killing it, man.
The MVC, the most valuable Carter, there's only one Carter.
You got it. You understood.
Oh, wait, no. The MVC. Your clip, I'm Carter.
Cut the mic and go to break, dude. You don't know when to stop. Go out on a high note. I'm giving you compliments, and you keep talking.
Pirate Radio Live, weekdays from 3 to 6. Exclusively on Pirate Radio, Pirate Radio TV on YouTube, and on the Pirate Radio app. This is Pirate Radio, WGHB Farmville, 1250 at 92.7 FM Greenville, WDLX Washington, 930 and 104.1 FM Washington. The following is an exclusive presentation of Pirate Radio, the voice of the pirate nation.
Aiden Eshelman 1 for 2, hitting ninth. Fly ball right center. Who wants it? There it is! Herring with the squeeze and the final out from Greenville to Clearwater. ECU, American champions once again.
Welcome to the Pirate Radio Regional Selection Special, breaking down all the college baseball teams headed to individual regionals. Now, from the First Flight Credit Union Studios at Pirate Radio in Uptown Greenville, here are your hosts, Clip Brock and Mike Mullis.
Welcome in on this Memorial Day. Here we are again, just like we are just about every year. Talking about where East Carolina will be playing in a regional, the selection show beginning on ESPN. We are going to break it all down for the next hour as we are live in the First Flight Credit Union Studios. If you've got, put a pin in that, Molly. We'll talk about that in a moment. If you've got a projection, a question, a comment, want to be a part of the program, join us on YouTube, Pirate Radio TV. Phone line's always open, 317-1250. We will talk about where the Pirates will be playing coming up this weekend. Shirley Rhodes is here. Appreciate you, Shirley. And J-Bone, of course, on the injured reserve, but came in and started in today's game. So we appreciate you, Jared. We got the Mully Man here who watched this Pirate team all season long and watched a lot of opponents as well. He'll break it down with us for the next hour. What's up, Mully?
Hey, buddy.
Good to have you back here for another year.
Yeah, it was kind of a touch and go, but here we sit.
Yeah, I was almost hoping. I wasn't hoping we would not win the championship, but just to have a little bit of drama. Like, would we have got in as an at-large? But going in last week, we were saying, hey, do they need to win 1 game, 2 games in Clearwater, whatever? Felt pretty good after they got that win on that second win Saturday, that they were in good shape.
Well, we would think that, but then we may see UTSA's fate seems to be certainly at question. Of course, UTSA didn't quite have the RPI numbers and some of the other things that East Carolina had, but the head up win over East Carolina again looks like UTSA is squarely on the bubble, and quite frankly, some are prognosticating that they are the last team out.
Yeah,
so.
D1 baseball has them number 65 basically.
Yeah. So I said last team out, first team out, but. I guess we could kind of, if that indeed is the case, we could infer that probably would have been the fate for East Carolina had they not found a way to win it. And I think, man, overall, I think when you look at, it'll be interesting to see like Sunbelt, how many will they get? I mean, 3 to 5 5 seems extreme, but 3 seems like probably a given. So that takes a spot that would have been an American team, but. I don't know. I think it says a lot about what the committee, if indeed UTSA does not get in, I think it says a lot about what the committee thinks about the strength or lack thereof of the American Conference.
Certainly. All right, real quick, because we're going to find out at some point in the next 10 to 15 minutes, maybe in the next 2 minutes, where ECU is heading. So let's go around the horn. Jarrett, Shirley, Mully, where will the Pirates be playing? I'll
lead us off.
I'll throw out Atlanta. We're always in like Chapel Hill, Coastal, Virginia. Seems like something touching the state of North Carolina. I think we're due to go beyond that this year. So give me Atlanta for the Georgia Tech Regional.
I'm going to say we're going to Tallahassee to hang out with Link Jarrett, our old buddy, and have a little visit with him and the Knowles.
All right, Tallahassee, Atlanta, Jarrett.
I can't narrow it down between Chapel Hill and Tallahassee. I think those are the top 2 options right now.
But I am asking you to do it.
Chapel Hill.
Thank you. And Shirley.
Atlanta.
Right.
It's been like 1A, 1B between Atlanta and Tallahassee.
All right, Molly. So the first bracket is out, and it is the Los Angeles Regional with UCLA as the number 1. They'll play St. Mary's in the first game. Interesting 3 seed there, and this shows that now the regionals are not necessarily regionals.
Not very.
They're trying to mathematically put them together, I think.
Yep.
And Virginia Tech, boy, that could have been us. Virginia Tech
makes the run to
all
UCLA.
The way out there.
Yeah, going to see Bryant Ward and the Bruins, and the number 1 player in the country are projected to be number 1 overall pick, Rock Chalowski. So Virginia Tech heads that way. Haven't seen that often. Here's the Atlanta Regional. We may get an idea for the Pirates right here shortly, but I haven't seen that since UVA was sent out to San Diego State some years ago.
All right. It'll be Illinois-Chicago facing Georgia Tech in the Atlanta Regional, the Flames. They are all together cheering. We got to talk about UCF when we get a brief moment.
Yeah,
and their watch party. The Citadel. Interesting. Is that a 2 or a 3?
And I don't think the Pirates go there now.
The Citadel winning their conference. And then the other team in that region is Oklahoma. All right, so Oklahoma, who ECU has seen in a regional in Charlottesville, will be in Atlanta. So I am incorrect. It will not be ECU to Atlanta.
There was what I thought was a kind of sexy regional at one point that had a projection that had in Chapel Hill, East Carolina, Tennessee, and then the 4th team not known yet. But man, I thought that'd be a lot of fun, and I also thought this Pirate fan base would dominate that situation. But Tennessee travels well. I don't think that was going to shake out that way anymore. That was a couple weeks ago, but when I saw it, I was like, man, that would be a lot of fun.
Man, Georgia Tech 48-9.
And I tell you what, they absolutely dismantled Carolina yesterday, and Carolina is really, really good. But it was a kind of a heavyweight bout.
Logan says no Athens, please. We are finding out the Athens regional right now. Georgia and Long Island will be the 4-1 matchup. The Long Island Sharks They're fired up as we see their watch party. Also in this region will be the Flames of Liberty, 41 wins this year, Molly.
And they were one of those teams that were kind of questionable going into this weekend as to what their future was going to be, but they will head down to Athens.
And then we got BC, Boston College, who I remember a few weeks ago when I was asking David Glenn about the ACC, and he mentioned, Carolina, Virginia, Miami, Georgia Tech, and Boston College. He threw their name in there. I was like, BC, they're playing baseball, and apparently so, 36-21. I think their record was much better a couple weeks ago when I talked to David Glenn, but you don't hear a lot about those Northeast teams, Mully, when it comes to baseball.
No, and I know, just keeping up with ACC on the fringe, they would pop up, they would have a big series win and give some teams, a fit. So they have earned their right to go into a regional. They were a team that at one point I'd seen that was going to be the East Coast team headed out to UCLA, but they managed to avoid that fate.
All right. Do we keep it rolling? Oh, man, I like this. This is way different than the basketball selection show. Auburn. Got the Auburn Tigers from the SEC, if you're keeping track.
So do we get a East Carolina Bristol Carter reunion in Auburn?
That would be something. Milwaukee, the Panthers.
I could not have told you their mascot prior to it popping up on the screen there, but the Panthers happy to go to anywhere, I would imagine.
Yeah, no doubt. The Auburn Regional also consisting of the Pack.
So the Pack is in. I think that clearly puts UTSA out.
So UTSA did not want to see that.
Is that the Elliott Avent farewell? Hey, like you retired. There's our boys UCF hanging out in the swimming pool shirtless. That's the worst.
I don't know.
That's possibly the worst watch party ever.
I don't know, Molly. I might be thinking best.
A bunch of shirtless dudes in a swimming pool.
Everybody's done the let's sit in a room together. Why not sit in a pool?
Because it's a little safer to sit in a room. I mean, it's kind of a a tough look.
All right.
Interesting there. Well,
I guess you're not gonna like my next idea.
We're not going shirtless if that's what you're going to ask. We're not going back to my house to get in the pool. So those two are out.
All right. Never mind.
Okay.
Jamie says, wow, UTSA out. That's a shame. Well, it appears that way. And yeah, we had someone.
Here's Chapel Hill.
Conspiracy theorist Mully say, did they do this announcement to try to get.
I was just going to bring that up. I don't think you could discredit that. I think that's to maybe get that little sympathy vote right there at the end. I don't think you discredit that at all.
Boy, this looks like an East Carolina regional. North Carolina and VCU so far. This feels like one that
it does feel like it's got a real good chance.
Let's see who else is in this bracket. It will be.
They're building the drama. East Carolina.
Now, you want to talk about a great camera angle. What do we got? The peep cam going? What is that? Is it in a closet?
That is terrible. That looks like the camera that I was going to go way off color there, but I'll hold that. So Tennessee does it.
Is that your attractive?
That is what I thought was going to be a pretty cool North Carolina, East Carolina, Tennessee, and Virginia Commonwealth. I mean, that's what an interesting regional. That might be the most interesting regional that we see. That's
and it's a very regional. This is old school regional. And Mully, talking last week, East Carolina has had success in that 2-3 game, whether it be a Bryant all those years ago in Charlottesville, but when they beat Oklahoma, when they beat Florida, they have risen to the occasion against these
success
teams.
Against the SEC last year. I find it interesting that the committee allows a team that played a 3-game set to go, to in East Carolina and Tar Heels getting together, but there we have it. That's funny. I would have obviously none of us saw that coming or thought that might be a possibility, but I think you got to like it. It certainly is an easy travel for the Pirates and some familiarity with the number 1 seed, some success against the number 1 seed, success against VCU. Tennessee is the wild card. So I kind of like that for the Pirates.
I don't want to focus on this, but I just don't get why everybody has a camera in the front with everybody cheering, and we get to see their faces, and they're celebrating. And we've got ours in a closet.
It looked like the camera from like Cheaters or some TMZ outlet.
Well, yeah. It's a teddy bear cam.
The nanny cam.
It was the nanny cam in the crib.
I mean, that's a peephole for sure.
That's pitiful.
But anyway, different way to do it, I guess.
All of a sudden the UCF celebration doesn't look quite as bad.
Hey, there you go.
Hey, you know the irony of it all is you got all that production in the stadium. They're at the Town Bank Tower, if I'm not mistaken, and you got all that Mr. Beast production. I mean, can somebody not come up there and loan them a clean shot for 30 seconds just to? But yeah, it is what it is. We think that was the East Carolina team. I'm not real sure.
It said East Carolina.
It almost looked like, and I don't know if you could tell because I kept staring at it, but it almost looked like there was water in the lens because of the way it was bouncing up and down. It kind of looked like maybe it had gotten wet or something, but there's no telling. But
maybe they were in the pool at UCF.
Apparently so. They took
Wow.
a dive. I don't know, but that's not a good look.
God bless Texas, as they will be the 6th overall seed in this tournament. Where are we now? Tuscaloosa. It is SEC heavy, of course. Mully. Alabama will be a national seed.
How many SEC teams do we get in? What do we have in right now? We got 4 in right now.
Alabama
State going to Alabama. They got to kind of like that, right?
As an opportunity to
knock off Big Bro,
shock the world. Alabama State. Who else is going to Tuscaloosa? The Pirates will in football. USC Upstate earning a 3, I guess.
Yeah, it's a little different how they doing this year. So you got I tell you what, Alabama's got to kind of like that. It looks like it's Alabama, Oklahoma State, and then 2 other teams that don't really belong with those 2. But that, again, beauty of baseball. But Alabama, Alabama State, South Carolina Upstate, and Oklahoma State. Interesting.
Yeah, and you always get, I say always, a lot of times, Molly, you do get that regional where a Lipscomb or somebody will come out and surprise. So could definitely happen anywhere. Right now we've got Auburn, Georgia, Texas, Bama. Do we have any 2, 3, or 4 SEC seeds?
Not to this point.
Okay. Who's definitely not in? South Carolina is not in.
LSU's definitely not in. Vandy's definitely not in.
Oh, I saw it.
There's Florida.
Another one. A long streak that's over, Mully. You only hear about them during baseball season and no other time of the year. Dallas Baptist will not be making a regional this year. The Gators. I wanted Kevin O'Sullivan one more time before Parker Bird gets out of here. Florida and Ryder.
The Bronx.
Go Gator.
We've seen them in baseball, I believe, but I remember playing them in the CIT tournament in basketball, Molly, when the Pirates made a run. Will we ever do a selection show for ECU basketball?
I will not.
Okay.
That would be
really?
You got. I mean, I just don't have a ton to offer there, bud.
All right. Troy.
The men of Troy. So there's one Sun Belt team.
That's the first?
That's the first.
All right. Keeping an eye on our Sun Belt counter. Over, under 3.5.
I think I like it at under it. I think I like it at 3.
Okay.
But talking with a coach from the Sun Belt, they thought they may get as many as 5. They're gonna have to hurry up if they're gonna get 5.
We got Troy and Miami, the U in Florida. Florida, Miami. Could be fun.
That could be fun. That certainly used to be fun in football.
No doubt. Great uniform matchup as well. So that's the top 8. So Southern Miss, they were kind of teetering on the 8-9, Mully, maybe. We'll see if they're the 9. But it looks like there will be another regional in Hattiesburg this year. And that's, I believe, is the only non-power conference school that earned a regional host. So your top 8 national seeds: UCLA, Georgia Tech, Georgia, Auburn, North Carolina. That's where the Pirates will be playing. Texas, Alabama, and Florida. So half of them SEC.
Yeah, kind of interesting that Carolina fell to 5.
Over half.
At one point they were number 2 team. Going into the weekend, they were number 2 team in the country. But UCLA had a great weekend. Obviously, Georgia Tech had a great weekend. So I mean, you could see how it shook out. But there's your boys from UCF. having such fun.
I don't think we're going to see a replay of the ECU reaction.
I don't think there is one.
I don't think we're going to get that one. All right.
How does that happen? Seriously.
I don't know. Again, I don't want to pile on. But what are we doing? Why does everybody look one way and ours the other?
Look, I'm watching our guy J-Bone coming here on one leg and two wheels and freaking set up cameras, check them, make sure they're right. He's got the whole thing going on, and we can't get a shot of the team.
Next year, Jerry, could you set up us a camera across the street and just peep into the window?
Yeah, that'll do good. I'll set up at Sup Dog.
Oh, man. All right, Mully. What do we got as far as pitching for the Pirates? What's it going to look like?
Man, same deal. I mean, you come out of the gate. I mean, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And you go kind of hold serve, and it's so interesting to me. And I said this before we got started. The people that are calling this Cliff Godwin's masterclass. What's interesting to me is if you look back at the team last year, going into the conference tournament, goes in a 5 or 6 seed last year, finds a way to win the conference tournament, then loses a 1-0 game that would have advanced them to a super regional had they been able to hang on. But anyway, it's or at least put them in a position to go to super regional. But anyway, this team certainly has done the right things when they needed to. It's still the same story though, Cliff. I mean, here we are, 56, 60 games later, or 59 games later, 58 games later. It's still like who's going to show up, and we even saw it inside the conference tournament. Just in a nutshell, first inning we go out, a couple errors. We saw a game where the Pirate pitching staff hit 6 and gave up 4 walks. I mean, so we've seen the inconsistencies, but man, when they play good, they really do play well.
Yeah, and the inconsistencies, it gives you, a lack of a positive feeling, but also it shows you any given day, like they can go out and win.
Look, man,
so
I think
you just don't know how to handle it.
I think it's the frustration from the season came from the losses seemed to be egregious losses. There were some run rules in there to teams that you just don't feel like that should happen. Run rules on Sunday after winning Friday and Saturday. Just the way that it kind of happened. But at the end of the day, man, they kept kind of putting one foot in front of the other and kept putting out the effort it took, and they find themselves in a position that very few thought they would be, and here they are headed to Chapel Hill. And I again be interested to see how the back half of this bracket shakes out. If we don't see UTSA get their name called, then it's just confirmation that again East Carolina had to do what they did. And quite honestly, their opportunity to win this tournament this past weekend happened on Sunday of a week ago when they managed to beat FAU. When they swept FAU, that put all this into motion to give them a chance, because quite frankly, I don't think if they had to play one more game in the conference tournament, it would have been – I don't know that they could have pulled it off.
Credit to the ECU pitching, but I watched and followed a lot of conference tournament baseball last week and during the weekend, and it was 14-11 and 12-8 and 10-6. All these games, a lot of runs. East Carolina playing in low-scoring games, and again, awesome that we were able to win games like that. But man, we're going to have to find the bats. I thought that going to Clearwater, we and just about everybody would find their bats, but still kind of searching there. They did get some hits yesterday, had runners on, but could not get a ton across the board. So that is something, can we keep up if we get into a slugfest in one of these regional games?
Yeah, it'd be tough. And, there's a good chance of that when you got two teams like Carolina that can score it and obviously Tennessee. But, I think the most amazing thing with the pitching clip is how they would pitch out of trouble. Yeah. And, I mean, repeatedly pitch out of trouble. And so, if you get Norby like you got him yesterday, and, let's also look at this thing, too. The same buttons that Coach Godwin was kind of ostracized for pushing early in the season have worked out now. And, the decision to close out game one with Norby, a lot of folks looked at that with a furrowed brow, but it worked out, and Norby comes back and has an outstanding outing in the championship game.
Man, what a performance for him as the most outstanding player of the American Conference Tournament. Virginia heading to Hattiesburg to face Southern Miss, Molly.
Yep, Southern Miss, Arkansas, Little Rock, Jacksonville State.
46 wins.
46 W's for Jacksonville State. That's Jacksonville State's a Sunbelt team, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, what is Southern Miss?
Sunbelt team.
Well, they wouldn't put 2 in there, so Jacksonville State's got to be Conference USA?
Maybe Conference USA. Yep.
So that's 2 Sunbelt?
That's 2 Sunbelt.
Keeping an eye on that.
You got to think Louisiana should get their name called at some point. And obviously Coastal Carolina. Louisiana finished 7th. Troy. They're in.
Yeah.
So
we already counted.
So that is your second one.
Got it. Sorry.
Yep. No problem.
All right, here's Tallahassee, Mully. You thought maybe the Pirates could be heading there, as they are 38-17 on the year, the 10 overall seed. There's another Northeast team that we are familiar with early in the year. Seems like we've seen the Johnnies quite a bit, St. John's.
The Red Storm
chose to go to a restaurant for their...
Buffalo Wild Wings seems to be the restaurant of choice for baseball selection shows.
We have done it there back in the day with ECU, I remember. Northern Illinois from the MAC. I think they're going for the first time in forever.
The Huskies.
And let's see, who else is going to Tallahassee? Coastal.
Well,
Coastal Carolina.
What an interesting season they had. From started off really banged up, much like East Carolina, pitching staff wise. Cobbled it together, really got hot, and dominated the Sun Belt for the vast majority of the season, then kind of fell off there towards the end, and almost fell off when they got healthy, ironically, when Fluky came back and Carbone. But I tell you what, that is a team that I'm sure Link Jarrett, as he was watching this announcement, he was going, please no Coastal, and you get Coastal. Because I'm going to tell you, when they get it going, and we've seen it firsthand, they're really good. The question becomes, how distracted are they with all the talk about their guy, Kevin Schnall leaving to go to South Carolina?
Northern Illinois, by the way, second tournament appearance, first time since 1972. So they got to be fired up to go. Oregon, who's going out west? Do we know where Coach O's going, Molly?
No, we don't. That was he and I texted yesterday, and he didn't know as of yet.
Yale is going way out west. They look excited. Going a little trip here.
Look at them, khaki shirt tails in, belts on. Look at that. Guys are squared away.
Definitely classier than the pool.
Yeah.
The UCF pool.
I wonder what the East Carolina team was doing.
We'll never know. Washington State playing baseball out in Pullman, Molly. Are they in a conference?
Do you think they know who Gardner Minshew is?
They got to, right? Yeah. He's cool with the kids. Oregon State meeting.
That's interesting. Yeah, it's interesting.
So a little rivalry renewed there. Obviously, they never played in a regional when they were in the Pac-12 together, or Pac-10, or Pac-8. But they will be in a regional this year. So Oregon, the number 11 overall seed. And Mully, I got to be honest, other than UCLA dominating the Big Ten, I did not watch Oregon or much Big Ten baseball this year.
So I watched the championship game yesterday, and the young man you just saw hit the ball, that guy, 6'5", 265 freshman, right-handed pitcher and infielder, and he is a monster.
Elliot asking, how will these games work? If we lose the first game, are we done? No, it is double elimination. It'll begin on Friday and go throughout the weekend.
So that'll be interesting with the weather in the forecast. Of course, it's still a few days out, but the forecast looks a little hit and miss. It'll be interesting to see how the games shake out. And I don't know that in this situation, I think the NCAA does mandate who plays in what slot. I don't think they get to pick.
I always thought
I did too, but
Godwin,
you see up there they already have Friday at 4:00 Eastern time. So I don't know why they would, and then the bottom one has Friday at 9. So I'm assuming that that's already etched in stone because I that was why I said that clip. Is
did you see what ECU said?
It was the bottom one,
but we don't know.
I don't know that it said.
Okay, if anybody caught that, let us know. USC, another Big Ten team, is in. Texas A&M, by the way, will be hosting. And I thought they were going to go more non-regional, but these regionals have been very regional.
Yeah, they have been, except for our friends from who had to go to UCLA. Virginia Tech's like, yeah, that's not very regional for us.
You got Yale in Oregon and the Hokies in LA, but for the most part, seeing a lot of regionals. Jamie says there's Texas State. UTSA officially out then, I believe. Well, if you believe, it's not official. But I hear what you're saying, Jamie. It is getting tight over there for our frenemies in San Antone. The Nebraska Cornhuskers, two teams, Mully, that I looked at here these last few weeks and said, when did they become a baseball power? Nebraska and Kansas.
Let me tell you something. I love the Kansas story. I mean, you look at their roster, and it is all JUCOs and D2 guys, and it's come up guys, not come down guys, and, man, they just play the game the right way. They're gritty. I've enjoyed the off and on being able to watch them.
And I believe their name is coming up here soon.
Yeah, they're a host site, yeah.
Arizona State will be going to Nebraska. Nebraska ball. They're doing everything but football over at Nebraska.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Yeah. Ole Miss is in and heading to Nebraska, so another SEC team there.
That seems to be the least regional right there, just from a.
Yeah, that one's pretty random.
A little bit spread out, and it doesn't even have a whole lot of feel to it.
We might have every time zone covered.
Yeah, I think you just about do.
I don't know. Ole Miss is probably central, right? So we don't have that Eastern time zone represented. Molly, what do you know about Tennessee? You follow the
yeah, I mean, it's not the Tennessee. They're not the powerhouse that they have been. Obviously, they're not hosting, so I mean that kind of tells you a little bit. But it kind of reminds me of the LSU team from last year that went to Chapel Hill. That seemed like that was going to be a real battle, and Tennessee's going to be talented. Again, just not quite what we've seen in the past, but again, a really good SEC team.
All right, Starkville. Who? Let's see. Let me look at the projections to see who's still waiting to have their name called here. TCU. So Texas State got in. Like Pitt, Mercer. Have we seen Mercer?
No.
I want to see a Mercer with what they've done in the regular season. They deserve to be in. But will they get knocked out by like a TCU or a Pitt? I don't think we've seen those teams yet.
See, that's interesting, too. See the time slots, Friday at 2 Eastern time, but then nothing in the bubble. They go Friday at 7. Okay.
So what time does ECU
There's Louisiana.
play?
That's another Sunbelt team.
Another. So I think we're over my 3.5.
I think that is 4.
I'm sure somebody has posted a picture. All right, 12 noon on Friday, ESPNU. So we got a TV game. Usually we get that.
Yeah, how about that? That's probably the value of being at Carolina.
Yeah. 12 noon, ECU and Tennessee. Cincinnati, Molly, I've talked about them a few times this year. I don't know, they were never, a power team when they were in the Conference USA or American, but apparently have picked it up since moving to the Big 12 in baseball.
Yeah, no. In doing the looking at Xavier, that's a big matchup for Xavier is Cincinnati, and that was a game that they really talked about as like you're saying, kind of a surprise to me that was a hang your hat on it kind of game, but that was one that they definitely kind of pounded their chest about.
All right, we got a couple more sites to go, and then the field will
Kansas.
be complete. Lawrence. I'm interested to just watch a home game for them and see what the crowd's like. But yeah, last week or a couple weeks ago, Mully, I was like, so what did they do? Do they have a monster NIL fund and buy all these players, but I saw an article about it, and you mentioned it, JUCO heavy.
They went and dug out the JUCOs, and they had guys going up the ladder, not down the ladder, and it's 42 wins is an impressive run for a basketball school.
Northeastern is in, so I guess the Northeastern won the CAA in Wilmington. That's what that would tell me, which tells me Campbell will not be going to a regional, which stinks. Missouri State, 34-19. Looking for UTSA, Mercer, Arkansas. So who on this bubble? NC State's in, Troy's in. Haven't seen Kentucky, right?
Have not seen Kentucky.
I wonder if we see one of Kentucky, Mercer, UTSA, Pitt here in these and TCU.
Yeah, you got one shot at it.
Come on, Mercer. I want Mercer. Or I guess UTSA. I don't care about the conference. Never mind.
Interesting.
Jamie says I think Pitt should be in.
Pitt
they had a terrible ACC record, I believe.
But they made a little bit of a run in the conference tournament. I don't know if it was enough.
Kansas has a giant scoreboard. They just moved that in from the football stadium. Rock Chalk. All right, Morgantown, Almost Heaven, West Virginia, the 16, Mully. Are they in a club? Are they in a strip club?
They kind of look like they're at the club.
There's a guy on a pole back there.
I mean, it really is.
Neon lights. It almost kind of looks like the theater over there.
It's West
State
Virginia.
Theater.
It could be a church.
Binghamton. Yeah.
Arguably the best facilities in the country.
I've never heard tell of that.
My goodness, you ought to check it out. I don't know if they're complete yet. It looks like they're getting some foul weather, but they had somebody leave them a bunch of money, and they did an incredible job.
Kentucky is in.
Nick Mingione's crowd.
And baseball folks are going to be pissed because I've been following like the bubble and everybody. And if I post something about last four in, all these people from other teams will start coming in as if I'm why do you have them in? But there's a lot of people that said ESPN college baseball is going to put in Kentucky and they don't deserve it. So
there you have it.
A lot of talk going to be happening about that. All right, let's take a break. We'll come back. We'll reset. How do you feel? Let us know on YouTube. You can give us a call, 317-1250. Your thoughts on the Chapel Hill Regional, your thoughts on where the Pirates landed, your thoughts on any of the other regionals. We'll be here until 1 o'clock talking about it with Mully. We got Shirley Rhodes, J-Bone. I am Clip Rock here on a Memorial Day Monday talking baseball. We're back with you after this.
Pirate friends, it's Rhonda from Russell's, and we're back open with a whole new look. We have a ton of surprises for you to see, including our Johnny O's Shop and Shop. Our racks and shelves are fully stocked with all new spring and summer merchandise for both men and women. Make it a point to come by Russell's in downtown Washington to check out the new look, experience the same great customer service you've come to know, and see all the new quality clothing that you love. We can't wait to see our pirate friends and customers back at Russell's in downtown Washington.
Jeff Stein here, back at you from Brown & Wood Buick GMC. And guess what, Pirate Nation? It's truck month only at Brown & Wood Buick GMC. We got 1500s, 2.9 for 72 months, 2500 HDs, 4.9%, 2026 Elevation. This is the deal of the month. The 1500 Crew Cab with the TurboMax engine, $11,549 in savings. And check this out, Pirate fans. That's 20% off MSRP.
Only at Brown & Wood, home of the lifetime powertrain warranty.
The best burgers around. Everyone loves a thick, juicy, and fresh burger. Tiebreakers does real burgers better than anybody. And don't forget about the cheese sticks, fresh salads, and more. So don't just go to any burger-themed restaurant chain. It's time to break the chain and eat local. Tiebreakers, burgers and sports at its best.
Go Pirates! Arr!
This is Dr. Hode from Orthopedics East and Sports Medicine Center. Our practice has been caring for the athletes at ECU and the residents of Eastern North Carolina for more than 35 years. Whether it's treatment for your sports injury or it's time for that joint replacement, Orthopedics East provides the latest in operative and non-operative orthopedic care. We also offer on-site physical therapy and MRI services, as well as walk-in urgent care on the weekends from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Call us at 757-BONE or visit us online at orthoeast.com. Go Pirates!
CopyPro, the professional office systems people, have been serving Eastern North Carolina since 1971. From Greenville to Wilmington, businesses trust CopyPro for reliable technology, award-winning service, and top brands like Konica Minolta and Ricoh. Need multi-function printers, document management, or network solutions? CopyPro delivers powerful tools backed by certified technicians and a team dedicated to your success. CopyPro, professional people, professional systems, powerful results. Visit copypro.net or call 756-3175 today.
Hey Pirate Nation, Bryce Williams here, former ECU tight end and proud customer of Stroud's Marine. Boating season is finally here and there's no better place to get your boat ready for the water. From tune-ups to parts and accessories, the team at Stroud's Marine has you covered with expert service and hometown friendly care. So whether you're casting a line or cruising the coast, stop by Stroud's Marine today and let's get you boating right. Follow Stroud's Marine on Facebook and Instagram or visit stroudsmarine.com to learn more. See you on the water. Go Pirates!
Here at the Holistic Company, we know that life throws you its fair share of curveballs. Like passing that drug test? Congrats. Now you can finally relax, kick back, and well, light one up. You've earned it. With weekly events like trivia, karaoke, comedy, open mic, movie night, and of course, all your favorites. Flour, merch, carts, edibles, and wellness products. Whatever you need to legally take the edge off, we've got your vibe covered. Order online at theholisticco.com or visit us at 5th and Evans in Greenville or at one of our other 2 locations in Fremont or Smithfield. The Holistic Company.
Before anyone walks into your business, the outside is what they see. Make sure your first impression is a good impression with the right curb appeal. Hi, this is Daniel Andrews from Dan Andrews Lawn Service. We specialize in making your business look great. Let us handle all your professional landscaping needs. We do it all so you don't ever have to worry. Residential services are also available. Call us today at 717-8006 and we'll come out and give you a free quote. Taking care of your landscaping needs is all we do, and we've been doing it for over 20 years. You can trust our reliable team at Dan Andrews Lawn Service, covering all of Eastern North Carolina.
University PC Care in Greenville and New Bern has been serving the tech repair needs of Eastern North Carolina since 2006. And as one of the only Apple authorized service providers east of Raleigh, all our technicians are Apple certified, and we only use genuine Apple parts. Your iPhone and Mac warranties are safe with us. Have questions or need service? Call 252-558-1280 or visit us online at universitypccare.com. University PC Care, your one-stop shop for service on everything Apple.
Hey Pirate Nation, Frank Etheridge here with First Flight Credit Union. Does this warm weather find you dreaming about weekends on the water? Make it happen with a boat loan from First Flight Credit Union. Whether you're upgrading your fishing boat, cruising with your family, or chasing sunsets, we offer competitive rates, flexible terms, and fast and local decisions, so you can spend less time waiting and more time boating. Apply today at one of our branches located in Greenville, New Bern, Havelock, Morehead City, and Cary. All local residents are membership eligible. First Flight is insured by the NCAA and an equal housing lender. Go Pirates.
This is retired ECU baseball player Charlie Yorgan, and you're listening to Pirate Radio, voice of the Pirate Nation.
All right, back inside the First Flight Credit Union studios. Clip Rock, the Mully Man, Shirley Rhodes, Jared Watkins here as we look at the regional announcements on ESPN, and the Pirates are in as an automatic bid after winning the American Conference Tournament in Clearwater over the weekend, and their gift is a trip to Chapel Hill. They'll be facing the Tennessee Volunteers coming up Friday at noon. It'll be North Carolina and VCU in the other game on Friday, and then we'll play it out and see what happens. How you feeling? Jamie says, I think we could have. I don't think we could have received a better draw. Have a win and a tie against the number one team in our region, Mully, regional, that being North Carolina. And I remember sitting with you at tiebreakers in a tie game on Sunday. thinking, all right, we're in this thing and looking pretty good, and they ended up calling it due to weather. So the Pirates go 1-1-1 against North Carolina. So obviously, you can beat them. I mean, they beat them pretty good on that Saturday.
Yeah, and I mean, that's a down the road kind of thing. I mean, Tennessee's standing there too, so you got to get through them, and let's kind of start there. Obviously, yeah, you got to feel good if you get to the matchup with Carolina that the guys know that they can have success. They've had some level of success against them, but again, those Volunteers are not going to be a pushover, and it's going to be a dogfight right out of the gate.
Chuck says he's shocked about UTSA not getting in. And I remember early in the year, Mully, they were in not a tournament, but a
tournament over in Globe Life. Yeah,
okay.
That's where Coastal was there and Texas was there.
And beat a couple of named teams.
Yep.
But I don't know. I guess went downhill after that. Ohio State and Coastal were the team, and Baylor beat them all there. So, I mean, that's pretty good for your non-conference, but they also beat Texas Tech this year. But they beat East Carolina, 3 times? They beat them in the tournament as well?
Yeah.
So 3 wins over ECU. But apparently not enough for UTSA to get in. Lost to Texas 11-8. So, yeah.
Well, I mean, at the end of the day, man, I think it's a direct reflection of where the American is from a baseball standpoint, and I mean, and that's not a slight to East Carolina or anybody else, but I think as the committee looked at it and obviously leaned super heavy towards the Sun Belt, allowing 4 teams in, it just didn't leave a whole lot of room for the other quote unquote mid-major conferences. And so, I mean, you look at it and I mean, it's just it would be interesting to know what the conversation was in the room prior to East Carolina winning the tournament. I don't know if their body of work would have been enough to get them in, especially when you have those bad head-up losses to, NC State. That was kind of their argument. Like, if we're both sitting on the bubble and head up against NC State was not very favorable for the Pirates. And you mentioned UTSA. It's interesting, but fortunately that we don't have to look back and play that game. It was, Pirates took care of business.
Yeah, I figured East Carolina would be in, but the more you talk about, look at what happened to UTSA, the more I think we might have been on the wrong side of that thing had we lost yesterday. Mercer, man, yeah, you go 44-15. They go 1-2 in the SoCon tournament, and the 2 losses were to the Citadel, who was in, and Mercer gets left out after a 44-15 season.
Campbell's another one that kind of looked like their path was pretty clear, but didn't get it done in the conference tournament. It wasn't all that long ago that we saw Campbell lead the country in wins or be in the top 3 in the country in wins and not get in because they didn't win the conference tournament. So, there's power in those conference tournaments, even the smaller ones that are, considered to be not as marquee as the SEC, ACC, the Big 12, whatever. But in this situation, man, again, if you look back at the path that East Carolina has taken and, quite frankly, has blazed for themselves, very fortunate that they did, and very fortunate that final game in the AAC tournament is single eliminate or winner take all. I don't know if the Pirates could have played to beat UTSA, but not that UTSA was rolling in pitching either. They bring their guy back in who had thrown the night before, thrown 75 pitches, so they weren't necessarily spry down there. But I think it just. You're right, Clip. I think if had the Pirates not done what they did in Clearwater, we might not have called their name today.
Man. And East Carolina has been burned also by that championship format. I remember one year we made a run and played Houston and lost to them, and that was our first loss of the tournament, but it was the championship game.
That's right.
And boom, you're out. So we have taken advantage of that format, and it's also hurt us as well. Kenny said disrespectful for the American Conference that UTSA getting left out. And, well, you got to make your own respect or earn your own respect. I guess we didn't do enough.
And as we went through the season and watching it and the up and down nature of the AAC, that it was it just was kind of a muddled mess the whole way. I don't know. I thought it was, as a whole, I thought the conference was down a little bit. But I would have thought I would have thought UTSA would have had a path to get in, but, again, when the Sun Belt gets 4, that's pretty much your answer.
Matthew Nope, who covers, he's New Mexico State Athletics Media Relations, says first ever American Conference champion to be left out of the NCAA regionals. Well, they were co-champion because of what ECU did the final week, but maybe UTSA stumbling down the stretch there in the regular season a little bit hurts.
And that's been a debate that has gone on and on of late with the co-champion title, but then UTSA holding the head up. So obviously we're the 2 seeds. So can your champion be a 2 seed? I don't know. It's semantics to a point, but it's almost like the curse of the co-champion may be what keeps UTSA out. If UTSA is named the champion and East Carolina wins the tournament, do they both get in? I mean, I don't know. But it's certainly a point. This is fun stuff to have a beer, sit around the table, and kind of debate it. But I don't know that there's any clear-cut answer. And everybody will have an opinion, and they're certainly entitled to it. But again, at the end of the day, the Sun Belt has done what it needed to do to put itself in a position of power, and kind of year in, year out. And the American just has not done that.
I saw Kendall Rogers say that I think they have one team out. They had Mercer in and Texas State out, and that was the only team that they had wrong, I guess, quote unquote. But again, that shows you the love for the Sun Belt.
Yeah.
And Texas State getting in. Other teams that were left out, we mentioned UTSA, TCU, Pitt, Michigan, Kent State, High Point we talked about, Gonzaga. Some of those teams were on the bubble and stayed on the wrong side of the bubble. It'll be East Carolina and Tennessee coming up Friday at noon. Do you know about tickets, Mully?
No, I
people
don't.
Talking about and asking about tickets.
No idea.
Yeah.
No idea. I imagine that that the Carolina folks were like, man, we got that crowd from Greenville coming. This could be a whole. Let's go ahead and reach out to the beer vendors. Tell them to triple the order, and we got to figure out how we're going to control this group as they're going to come in here and take over Chapel Hill. But I don't know. It'll be interesting to see how the ticket allotment works, and it will be a different situation because when you get to these events, quite frankly, the NCAA runs these shows, not the host teams.
All right, Pirates and Volunteers. We'll take a look at the Tennessee Volunteers. We'll get somebody on from Tennessee this week to let us know about their team. But obviously SEC, Mully, and have a pedigree. I don't think Todd Helton will be there, but when I think Tennessee baseball, it's the first name that pops up for me.
Tony Vitello? I don't think he's coming from
not
San
going to be
Fran
there either.
It's the boisterous nature with which they play. It's a lot of energy.
Has that remained without Vitello?
Yeah. I don't think quite as much, but I think that's just been with turnover of personnel too. But there's still going to be a level of aggression that East Carolina's going to have to match, and again, they're not. They'll bash it a bit, and that's interesting too from styles of play. Tennessee right now is going to have to figure out a way to play defense against a style of baseball that they most likely have not seen all year. The SEC's not known for the small game. Now you get some of that with maybe the Kentuckys or that kind of down the line guys, but it'll be interesting to see those again stylistically how the small game matches up because we're clearly not going to go toe to toe and outslug them.
Yeah, and that's my concern, especially coming off this weekend where East Carolina used pitching to win the championship in Clearwater. Volunteers were 38-20 overall, 15-15 in the stacked SEC.
Mm-hmm.
So 28-10 at home, 7-8 on the road, 3-2 neutral site, and lost in the conference tournament to Arkansas after beating South Carolina. That is the tail of the tape with Tennessee. We'll learn a lot more about them coming up this week. How about VCU, Mully? I don't know much about the Rams and what they did in the Atlantic 10 this year. Did we
41 wins, I think, and I don't.
Did we play them?
I was going to say I don't know that we saw them this year. Saw them last year. We certainly didn't see them at home. that I recall anyway. But it's one of those teams that's they've had a recent coaching change last couple years. Kind of bounce back from some down years, and it's again another club that's look, they're all gonna be able to give you a fit this time of the year.
And my goodness, this is why Cliff Godwin talked about the conference tournament format all those years. They played 6 games. That can't be right. Atlantic 10 tournament. They beat Davidson. They beat Richmond. They lost to Rhode Island. They beat St. Joe's. Then they played Rhode Island 2 more times.
They must have.
What in the world kind of tournament format is this? Won 18-6. 16 against Rhode Island, and then won the championship 9-1. 6 games from Wednesday to Sunday.
Well, you think about it. Prior to the adjustment of the American, or if East Carolina had not done what they did to get that double bye, you could have very easily have been looking at that for East Carolina to have got, if they were to have gotten through.
Kenny says, Mully, what has happened with our power at the plate?
Yeah, I don't know, man. And it's funny going back to the fall, and we talked about it on the air. Like, I watch BP, and, man, balls are leaving the yard one after the other. But I never would have dreamt you would see an East Carolina team where 9 home runs leads the team. It truly is. It's interesting, and I don't really have any way to explain it. Again, with Coach Gotro coming in with the SEC mentality, I thought it would be a little different. You did lose a guy that was supposed to represent some power numbers in Vogley.
Yeah.
You would have had some power numbers from Braxton Trammell most likely, but I don't know that those guys make that big of a difference when you look up and Kobe Wallace, who had a great, has had a great run of late, but is not a guy that you worry about running the ball out of the park. Only 1 home run on the season, so. You've not got any power or any significant production off the bat of Austin Irby. So, you look at those two, and, the flip side is Jack Herring has done exactly he's done exactly what you had hoped he would have done, which is probably more than you thought he would have done. And what a monster year he's put together, and the 9 home runs from him, and the batting average, the on base streak, all the things. What a great year for Jack Herring. I think did he tie the record at 58?
There's some controversy about that. I've seen name redacted go back and forth on has he broken the record or tied Connor Norby's record for most consecutive games getting on base.
I think he ended last season with a 7-game stretch, so that'd make it 65. The record's 58, which he hit this season.
58 was the number. That's right. That was Norby's number.
Yeah.
So, if he's been on base consecutive games going back to last season, then that, it's still a consecutive game streak. Nonetheless, he gets another shot at it, and if, he can find his way on, I guess all asterisks can be removed.
There we go. And, what a year he's had, Davin. And, Braden Burris, we're going to need him to have a monster weekend coming up to just carry the load, set the table, and
I don't even know that carry the load is fair. The expectations he set for himself, and it's just like Norby. We look at Norby's season compared to last year's, not fair to compare it, right? Like, that was just a stellar campaign. He's had obviously a really solid year. The conference agreed, and all the accolades that he received. And then we've seen the glimpses of what we had last year. So I think with Braden, it's one of those things where, listen, they know who he is. And, that sophomore slump thing has some teeth to it. It's been around for a long time. And all of a sudden the expectations you have for yourself are greater than what anybody else has. And that can cause you some problems at night. It's hard to sleep. But, it'd be great to see him get hot right here. But, man, they've gotten some key production. But, again, David Whitaker, Colby Wallace has hit the ball well. It's just been there's really no true fear top to bottom of a guy that can absolutely, run a ball out of the ballpark at any time.
The Chapel Hill Regional matches up with the College Station Regional, I believe, Mully. So see if I can pull up those teams real quick. Texas A&M hosting, and the other opponents there, I believe I got it, will be Texas State, USC, Lamar. So if East Carolina was to get by North Carolina and VCU and Tennessee, they would be taking on one of those 4 teams in the Super Regional. A&M, Texas State, USC Lamar. ECU at Texas State would be an interesting.
That would be very
regional.
interesting.
That
Yeah.
would be fun.
Yep.
And then if ECU and USC win, who would host in that situation?
I tell you what, this is your gig, right? This is the deep dive into the brackets.
Yeah, I don't. Do you know Tennessee's starting pitcher? I mean, you want to break them down, or you want to talk about ECU hosting USC?
Can we be done?
In 5 minutes.
Made it 56 minutes without y'all going at each other.
And all I try to do is give him like, hey, man, you love this stuff, whatever. And then he just gets so defensive.
The same conversation as last Tuesday.
I mean, I'm telling you, he just freaking.
Mike. Now, Mike, you behave over there.
All right. I think we've beat this dog about as much as we can.
J-Bone, how you feeling about the Chapel Hill Regional?
Man, it's ECU baseball. It's a Cliff Godwin-led team, so you want to think that we're going to be in the final of this thing. But I think it's just tough going up against Tennessee, going up against a team like North Carolina.
Yeah.
It might be bulletin board material, but I don't really see them making it too far.
I see my friends from Squeeze Play on TV. Cannot wait for some Squeeze Play, Molly, this weekend. How will you be taking in these baseball games? That's TBD.
Yeah, I got a lot going on this week. So, that is to be determined. I stay tuned.
All right, we'll talk to Mully more Tuesday. We'll get some more thoughts on this and go over the NCAA baseball regionals. Obviously, we'll be talking to folks from North Carolina and Tennessee, and get somebody from VCU on as well throughout this week on Pirate Radio Live. But overall, again, kind of summarizing, I like the draw. It's very, and Mully, you were even saying, what does ECU do from a travel standpoint?
Yeah.
Do they treat this as like a 3-game series, or do they stay overnight, or how do you what do you think they do from that standpoint?
Yeah, I mean, I think they're going to want to get into a routine. The only way you get into a routine that's a positive routine is probably to relocate to the Chapel Hill area and just kind of stake a claim and but that's certainly a consideration, and I'm sure that Coach Godwin and staff, again, for the you got the noon game, so that would be a pretty early morning travel wise. The last thing you want to do is get off the bus and try to work the kinks out. So I think you head on up and again treat it like you're in Tallahassee or UCLA or wherever, and just kind of make a home there in Chapel Hill.
All right, Pirates Volunteers game 1, and it'll be on television as well. That's new. As instead of ESPN Plus, I believe it'll be on ESPNU coming up this Friday. Pirates Volunteers and North Carolina and VCU coming up after that. Mully, appreciate you hanging out, man.
Yep.
Talking some baseball with us, and we'll do it again on Tuesday's edition of Pirate Radio Live. Thank you, Shirley, for coming in on Memorial Day, helping us out, and J-Bone, the one-legged man, here today in the Pirate Radio studios. We will talk to you later on this week as well. Go Canes. Canes coming up tonight in Game 3 of their series. And we will talk to you again Tuesday, 3 o'clock, all-new edition of Pirate Radio Live. Thanks to the chat gang for hanging out with us as well, and for all of you tuning in on this Memorial Day Monday. Back here in these studios, in the First Flight Credit Union studios, Tuesday, 3 o'clock. We'll talk to you then. So long, everybody.